Today we're going to begin cross-legged as always, but if you can come into half lotus, then do. So half lotus is one foot comes up towards the opposite hip, like this. Or maybe if you're comfortable in Padmasana, which is full lotus, then come into full lotus. But as ever, please be responsible for yourself, and the first part of the class will definitely not be fun if you're very uncomfortable. So, today is a special day. Maybe you know or you don't know, it's new moon again. And it seems like only yesterday I did the last new moon class, but it's really lovely to recognise that we've been now in a full, practicing together for a full moon cycle. So happy full moon cycle, everyone. And I think, yeah, everyone who's here, I think we've been pretty consistent that whole time, which is really beautiful. And it's not just any new moon, it is new moon in Taurus. And Taurus is a really, really special sign, mainly because I'm a Taurus, but it's also special because it's the first earth sign in the zodiac. So today we're going to be grounding down to the earth through the practice, and Taurus is also the ruler of the throat. So that's why I suggested that you wear something blue, because the throat chakra is associated with the colour blue. And all of the chakras have a colour, and they basically, that is supposed to align with the vibrations of the energy in each chakra, with the vibrations that each colour creates. And I think you can feel that. We experience different things when we look at different colours. Blue is obviously a very calming colour. So that's why we're wearing blue, just to help us get into the Shuddha, the throat chakra, that little bit more. So we're going to begin with a pranayama called Brahmari. And I think I should come closer to the camera actually, because it's a bit complicated. Well, not really, but it's a bit strange if you've never done it before. You take your hands and you bring your index fingers just above your eyebrows, your middle fingers on the ridge of your nose, your ring fingers just below your nostrils, and your little finger onto the top of your lips. And what we're going to do is inhale through the nose, and then as you exhale through the nose, you hum. But whilst we do this, you use your thumbs and plug your ears. And that really helps you to experience the vibrations when you're humming. And it's very, very calming, this breathing technique. And in science terms, it stimulates the pituitary gland. And in and in Eastern scientific terms, it awakens the throat chakra. So you're not going to be able to hear very much once you plug your thumbs into your ears. So we're going to do 7 breaths of that at your own time. So count for yourself. You do 7 hums. So inhale through the nose and then exhale as you hum. And we will begin. So plug your ears and begin at your own time. And once you're finished, just bring your hands to your knees, close your eyes, and experience the calmness. Wow, just through 7 breaths like that. Take a moment to appreciate that stillness that you've created. See if you can really tap into the energy in your throat center. We will also chant 3 rounds of Om, and I have no idea whether anyone is normally Omming along with me, but I invite you to today. No one else can hear you. I know it can be awkward. Maybe Zoom is a time for everyone to not feel awkward about Omming, but in classes it can be strange to all try and meet each other's pitch. But obviously Omming is really channeling those vibrations in the throat chakra. So I invite you to please join today. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. Inhale for Om. 3 times. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, release the hands back to your knees. Open your eyes. And everyone switch the cross of your legs. So whether you're in lotus or any seated pose, then bring the other foot in front. And we're going to just gently open the shoulders because the poses we do today are obviously going to be opening the throat chakra. But in order to kind of get into that space, we do need to do a little heart opening and shoulder opening. So, inhale, right arm up, bend the right elbow, and either push the elbow with your left hand or take the bind. And then think about pulling the shoulder blades together, opening the chest, and then let your head tilt back ever so slightly so you can just have that awareness in the throat. Extend the arms out away from you, open the chest, open the throat, and then bring the left arm up to your ear and come into the same on the opposite side. Remembering to keep that openness of the shoulders, the chest, the throat. Release the hands out, open the chest, open the throat. Bring the hands behind you with your fingertips facing forward, and then come into a gentle heart opener here. So shoulder blades pulling back and towards one another. Lift the chest. And here you can quite safely experience like what the limit is with your throat. There's normally a limit where your throat starts to feel constricted when you go back this way. And today, make sure you don't get to that point. You want to stop before it gets uncomfortable. And then you can really tell when you're talking, wow, talking normally, dog, okay, not talking normally anymore. So just notice where that is for you. Exhale, release. Uncross your legs. And come to all fours. Shoulders above wrists, hips above knees. We're going to come to cat-cow. So inhale, awareness in the throat as you lift the head up. And the back of the neck as you round the spine, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Inhale, front of the throat. Exhale, back of the throat. And now we're going to bring in lion's breath with this movement. So you inhale as you round. Exhale, tongue out. Exhale through the mouth. So again, really using the vibrations in the throat and this big release of energy as you exhale. So let's do a few of these. Really let go. Okay, good job. Then cross one ankle over the other and push back, so you're back on your sit bones. And you want to take the left foot by the right hip, outer of the right hip, and then take the right foot outside the left hip. And you want to try and get your knees kind of on top of each other. If it's super uncomfortable, put a blanket or a pillow under here. But you can try to shift so you're more evenly by pushing onto your feet, lifting the hips, and then sitting back down. Bring the arms in front of you. Bring the right arm underneath the left. Come into eagle arms, so the palms of the hands come together or towards together if they don't quite reach. And then you're just going to drop the forehead down so that you can feel the stretch on the back of your neck. Our throat chakra, of course, is not just the front of the throat, it's all around that area. The chakras are moving in like 360 in all directions. That's the electromagnetic field coming out of the chakras. So you also want to be aware of the back of your neck in order to activate the throat chakra. We're going to stay here for a couple of minutes. This is the yin part of the practice today. And for the yang part, it's going to be very short. We're not doing any vinyasa today. We're just going to be doing some balancing and grounding down into the earth. Keep pulling your shoulders down. And bringing the awareness to your throat chakra. If this feels fine and you want to go a bit deeper, you can hinge from the hips and bring the elbows down towards the knees and keep working here. But if you find that it's harder to experience the sensations in your throat when you neck this way, which is the case for me, then come back up. Each chakra has its own mantra. The mantra for Vishuddha, for the throat chakra, is HAM, as in H-A-M, HAM. So you can think that whilst you breathe. So you inhale, and as you exhale, say to yourself, HAM, very slowly. So inhale. And that can just help to cultivate the sensations in your throat chakra even more, as well as helping you to stay focused on the breath. Release the arms, bring the hands next to your feet and look up, and then lift the knees and straighten both legs out. Give them a shake. And now I'm going to get confused about which way we need to go. Right foot comes to left. No! Which one was on top last time? Right under. Is that right? Can you put your thumbs up if that's right? I have no idea. You do the right version. I don't know, God. How can you expect me to keep track of these things? Yes, this is right. Left knee on top. Woohoo! Okay. Left arm underneath. Come to eagle arms. And really, whenever we come to eagle arms, we want our elbows to be in line with the face. Of course, if it's not comfortable, then you can drop them down, but they should be in front of you. And then drop the forehead down so you can open up through the back of the neck. This is also a gentle hip opener. So you should feel kind of the back of the middle of your hips opening away from each other. Again, remembering the mantra. Inhale. If you want to come forward, then do. But remember, we want the focus of the pose to be on the back of the neck. Moving the shoulder blades away from each other. And as it's new moon, maybe you want to think about intentions for the next coming cycle. After new moon, after today, the energy starts to rise again till full moon. So it's a really good time to bring awareness to things that you want to intentionally move forward with into this next cycle. Release the arms away, bring them by your feet, and uncross the legs, stretch them in front of you, and just kind of do some nice patting to the legs. So we'll just pat up and down. Okay, cross the legs, come back to all fours. Bring the elbows down onto the floor so your fingertips are at the top of your mats. And then you're going to move your chest between your arms. Push the legs back, coming into Sphinx Pose. So elbows under shoulders. Push down with all 10 fingers. Push down with the fleshy part between your index finger and thumb. Push down with the feet. And I always laugh here because I go to say, don't clench your glutes. And then I realise that I'm like, sphincter in. So relax your bum and push your chest gently forward, shoulders come down, and very gently tilt the chin up. You can close your eyes here. And you can bring your attention to your throat chakra. feel very comfortable, then you can push the elbows up and come into Bhujangasana, Cobra Pose. Relax the glutes, Libby, relax the glutes. If you're in Sphinx, keep pushing the hips down, the pelvis down. If you're in Cobra, keep pushing the pelvis down into the floor. Don't let the hips come up off the floor. Feel the space you're creating in your throat chakra. Remembering the mantra. Open your eyes. Everyone, bring your hands underneath your shoulders so you can push yourself up and come to stand on your knees. So we're going to come into a Ujjayi variation, camel variation. If you're feeling like, oh, my back feels like it wants to immediately come into a back bend and it's you're solid in your practice, then you can, but otherwise we really haven't warmed the back up enough to come into a full Ujjayi. So I'd recommend just bringing your hands onto your sacrum with your fingers pointing upwards, elbows back. And this is the first place to work, and it's just like a very gentle tilt up of the head. Don't drop the head back. Very gentle opening. You can push the hips a bit more forward. Of course you can come down, but I'm not even going to do that because I don't want to do that. But if you want to get a bit more of a back bend and it feels good, then that's fine. We're going to stay here for 1 minute, so that's why I want you to be really careful. You can close your eyes here again. And this particular new moon in Taurus is a really good time to be cultivating new practices and moving towards new goals. And I think that that's now, with everything happening in the world, that's a really opportune moment. And with all of this astrology stuff, chakra stuff, wearing a colour because it might open a particular chakra, you don't have to believe that at all. But it's interesting sometimes to just use these kind of markers as a way to just help you stay aligned. So I'm sure most of us all the time have things we want to work towards. And if this day in particular has been earmarked astrologically to be a time to honour those intentions, then what a good opportunity to embrace that, whether you really think the stars are aligned that way or not. Just be open to it. And open your throat chakra. Okay, let's come back up. Hopefully you're feeling really calm, open in your throat. Just bend the right leg and bring your hands onto the right knee, tuck the left toe, and come to stand up. That is the official yogic way to stand up. Come to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach the arms up, open the chest, and exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Take your arms together behind your back, clasp them together, and then gently, as you keep folding forward with the chest, reach the arms up over your head. And then bring your hands down and step the left foot back very slightly and bring your right hand forward. And you may, at this point, want to make sure you have something you can grab with your right hand if you want to use it to balance. So it could be a wall or a sofa or a block or anything that you might have near you. And you're going to bend the right knee. And this is really important here. Make sure that your knee stays aligned with your toes. So don't let the toes move out one way. They want to be straight in line with your knee, your right knee. Bend the right knee, push down with the right hand, and start to lift the left leg up. Bring your left hand to your left hip. We're coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. And this is a hip opener. Obviously we haven't done much with the hips, so don't worry too much about that today. What I want you to focus on is the grounding down with the right leg, grounding down into the earth, finding your stability there, and then the sensation of lifting up into the sky with the back leg. You should flex your left foot because ideally you want to be able to see the left toes out of the corner of your eye. So please take hold of something if you're struggling to balance. We're not worried about the balance today. We're very worried about the grounding down of the right foot. Terribly worried. No, that's just what we're focusing on. If you feel comfortable, extend the left arm, which will help you open the chest. And if you're really comfortable, you can look up. Engage the core to stay strong. And then release the left hand down, release the left foot, bend the knees, just shake a moment here, and then step the right leg back. Again, check your knee and your left toes. Left hand comes forward, bend into the left knee, and as you straighten the left knee, lift the right leg up. Hand on your right hip. Open the chest out to the right side. Maybe extend the arm. Using your breath here to stay focused. And then right leg down. Bring the right leg out, left leg out, toes pointing away from each other, and just sit down in Malasana. So elbows pushing into the knees, and here open your chest, open your throat. That sounds funny. And we're going to do lion's breath again. Inhale. And the full expression of lion's breath is you also cross your eyes as you stick your tongue out and exhale. Let's get real crazy. Inhale. Again. One more time. Give it everything. Okay. Bring your hands down, push your hips back up, feet back together. We're going to come back into Ardha Chandrasana for a second time. This time, step your right leg back first. Bend the left knee, and as you straighten it, lift the right leg up. And find your stability here. Ground down into the earth with that left foot. Really feel the connection of all four corners of your left foot, grounding down into the floor. Extending up from that foot, all through the leg. Maybe you can play with your balance, see if you can bring the left fingertips up off the floor. And drop the right leg, step the left leg back, bend the right knee, and inhale, left leg extends, Ardha Chandrasana. This is a really nice pose to work on because it's a really lovely transition through vinyasa practices. So it's really strengthening on the legs, as well as obviously creating balance, stability. And left leg back down. Bring the left leg out to the outside of the mat, right leg out, toes pointing away from each other, come back down into Malasana. And this time just take a moment to maybe bounce a little, and then drop the sit bones down, bring your knees together, and we're going to come up into shoulder stand, Bhujangasana. So you want to bring your hands onto the backs of your thighs. As you slowly rock back, bring the hands onto your sacrum and extend the legs up. Elbows come towards each other and walk your hands up your back until you're kind of holding your lower ribs. Push down with the back of your head, so the bit that protrudes out from the back of your head. That's where you want to push down so that you're not constricting the throat. Point the toes up, engage the core, legs super strong. And you can stay here or drop your legs back into Halasana, Plow Pose. So it does not matter if your toes touch the floor or not. If they don't touch the floor, keep holding onto your ribs like before. If they do touch the floor, you can clasp your hands together away from you. Again, make sure you're not constricting the throat by pushing down with the back of your head. And if you feel comfortable in Halasana, Plow, you can wrap your knees around your ears and then your arms around your legs. If you bent your knees, then straighten them again. And everyone lift your toes up and release your hands so the palms are facing down. And start to slowly, vertebra by vertebra, come onto your back. And we're going to come into our penultimate pose, which is Matsyasana, fish pose. And there's two variations. So the first variation is you bring your hands and slide them under your bum. They're under your bum. But you want your elbows to be under your body as well. And then you point the toes and lift up onto the crown of your head. And the second variation is if you can come into lotus, then bring your feet into lotus and take hold of your toes and come up onto the crown of your head there. And here you can really experience all the sensations in your throat chakra. Open the heart, open the throat, relax the muscles in your face. And slowly come to release the head and the neck. If you had your legs crossed, then unwind them. We're going to come straight into final pose, Shavasana. So bring the feet to each corner of the mat. Let your feet drop away from you. Palms facing upwards. Lift the chest. Pull the shoulder blades together and then relax down onto the shoulder blades. I forgot to use the blanket, but you could of course use it now by either rolling it up and bringing it underneath your knees, bringing it underneath your shoulders, or making a sausage with it, which I'm going to do, and then bringing your torso onto that sausage. So if you're doing the sausage, then you want the blanket to go between your shoulder blades but stop at the base of your neck so that you still can experience that gentle opening in the chest in Shavasana. Opening in the throat. Feel the softening of your breath. Letting go of your body. Letting go of attachments to any thoughts as they may float in front of you. Let them float away. Start to lengthen your inhale. Start to bring energy back into your toes, your fingers, your hands and your feet. Bring your feet together and inhale, reach your arms up overhead, giving yourself a big stretch full of love and gratitude. Bend one knee and roll over onto your other side. Push yourself up to seated, keeping your eyes closed and your legs crossed. If you have a crystal for today's practice, you can take that now. Rub it together with your hands, place it to your throat, and then place it to your heart. Everyone else, inhale, reach your arms up overhead, and exhale, hands to your heart center. We'll close with one round of Om. Inhaling fully. Exhaling fully. Inhale for Om. Absolute pleasure to share the practice with you all this morning on this new moon in Taurus. Thank you all so much. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you guys, and another beautiful way that you can activate your throat chakra is now going away, putting on your favourite song and singing along to it at the top of your voice. I hope you have a wonderful new moon.